when not knowing is a signal. One thing I hear over and over in conversations across different ages, careers, and stages of life is the same sentence. I still don't know what I really want. It shows up quietly, not as confusion, but as waiting. What's interesting is that this isn't limited to people who are early, lost, or behind. It shows up just as often in people who are accomplished, capable, and respected, which makes me think it's not a lack of desire, it's a lack of space. What helps me see this differently is realizing that none of us arrive with a user manual for our own mind. We're all learning without instructions, across age, experience, and status. Not knowing isn't a personal flaw. It's the shared starting point. When life moves fast, when expectations stack, when certainty is demanded too early, people lose access to what they want, not because it isn't there, but because it's hard to hear under pressure. Not knowing in that sense isn't a failure of clarity. It's often a sign that the system is too noisy. What I've noticed is that when life gets busy, this responsibility doesn't disappear, it just gets easier to ignore. Meaning hasn't come from certainty. It's come from paying attention to my own experience long enough to see what's real and what actually matters. Sometimes the work isn't figuring it out, it's slowing down enough for it to surface. I truly believe we're here to co-create with creation, not to force outcomes, but to experience the process and fully participate. I once heard a wisdom teacher say something simple that stayed with me. A tree doesn't ask how tall it should grow. It doesn't compare or wait for permission. It just grows as tall as it can. That idea changed how I think about purpose. So how do we know when we've found what we actually want to be doing? In my experience, a few things tend to be true. Time starts moving very fast. There's a sense of being in the zone, just you and the task in front of you, not because it's easy, but because it fits. There's nothing else you'd rather be doing in that moment. Comparison fades, second-guessing quiets, and there's a calm feeling of rightness, like this is where you want to be, and nowhere else feels more true. That's been my clearest signal, a felt signal from within, not certainty from the outside and not a guaranteed blueprint, just alignment, felt, not explained.